Oh, loads, amazing amounts. In the sense that you suddenly feel connected with your generation of artists in a massive way that I hadn't been as director previously.
Yeah.
I directed new writing and found it very hard to find new pieces, but also to know the writers. New writing had always been finding piles of scripts, whereas suddenly there were people to engage with, which was hugely thrilling. And a whole bunch of actors who are always my first port of call when I'm doing readings and workshops at this point. Many of which I've gone on to work with in professional productions. I'm constantly going back to this pool of actors and these writers and the producers to advise and help and support. And so that's the thing to take from it. You know, they are.
Yeah, I think before you go into it, you get told and get the idea that it's going to be this big sort of industry breakthrough, and you're going to like get an agent, and you're going to get a commission, and you're going to get all this, you know, and you're going to become famous. And it's like the main step is who you're meeting in terms of, and not really on that night, but who you meet in the company, the other young people who are working with you, that I use now in the stuff that I write and for readings, are people that I met through the 24-hour plays and the New Voices, and I've gotten work from them, like, you know, just on a friend level, saying, oh, I'm doing this youth theatre thing, can you write something for it? And actually eventually, and because the New Voices, and this is the other thing I say about the New Voices, as in addition to just the members, but the actual, you know, administration team and all the stuff that they do to help you in terms of getting rehearsal space, is massively helpful and really nice to always have them. And
whole companies of devisers have come out of it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Companies and creating work together.
Yeah, I mean, I've just started a company, and it's mainly New Voices people.
The 24-hour plays event itself is actually the start of a process, because we sort of came out of that, and I felt like we were a company when we came out of that.
Yeah.
Like the sort of real traditional repertory theatre sense. And then it has all been about, oh, I'll just phone this person and get this bit of advice. I'll talk to this person and find out what they're doing, and we can work together. And always ongoing, I've sort of turned to people who I sort of went through that baptism of fire with. Because you trust each other. You totally trust each other. And it is about going into it as an individual and coming out of it as part of a generation of theatre practitioners. I knew I wanted to work in theatre, and I had no idea how. I didn't know anybody, I didn't know what I should be seeing, I didn't know who I should be talking
as a
to.
producer, I mean, how do you get that on your CV without spending a lot of your own money, or...
You have to either have bags of cash or know people. And, you know, I found some really great people.
A lot of the theatre companies have programs for young writers and young directors, to sort of schemes to sort of help them, like little courses and things for them to do and stuff like that, but they don't really have that for producers, and they certainly don't have that for actors, because there are so many actors and so many people want to do it that they don't have little sort of, you know, join our company for a few weeks and it looks good and you get to learn this. I mean, they don't really do that after drama school. I guess that is drama school. You know.
Also, as a writer, it kind of, for me, it did that thing we were talking about where Roy Williams has this brilliant expression, which is, don't get it right, get it written. You kind of have to just focus and write, because otherwise, if you're like me, you'll deliberate and find reasons not to write it, find reasons to sabotage what you're working on, find holes with your idea, and it's just part of the process of writing, I think, for a lot of people. And to be able to look back on something where you've really achieved something in a really small amount of time, and it's not the best thing you'll ever write, but you did it, and it gets some laughs, and it gets people applauding, and the actors like doing it, and it somehow worked. You filled that space for 10 minutes. You kind of think, wow, if I can do that from nothing in a matter of hours, then I should be less precious about planning and getting everything sorted in my head before starting, and actually just... So I wrote my next play in the week following the 24-hour play, sort of 10 days I think it took me to write the first draft, because I was still on the rush of this is possible, and I've got to raise my game, because this is something that we've all just achieved, and it can be done.
I think, and people who are there on the night know that, they go into it knowing that. It's like when you watch it in improv comedy, it wouldn't be funny if you thought it was written, because you know they're making it up as they go. That's why it's funny. And it's the same, you know, on the night. People are so supportive, and they're so interested and you know, invested because of that.
Everyone respects the risks being taken.
Yeah.
They're behind you completely.
Yeah.